coming just for you.
You're watching Golazo Match Night, 48 nations, as we recap Uruguay against Cape Verde in Miami. Another famous result for Cape Verde at this World Cup. 2-2 it finished. What a game. And Kevin Pina and Helio Varela will go down in history as the goal scorers for this tiny island nation. And here is what it's done to the standings in Group H. I think pretty much everyone has picked up Cape Verde as their second team at this World Cup, or their first team, because they are on 2 points after 2 draws against Spain and Uruguay. So it's Spain who lead the way on 4 points with a victory and a draw plus 4 goal difference, and Cape Verde alongside Uruguay on 2. It's Adam Hunt here in the Golazo Network studio with Kai Kamara and Michael Lahoud, and we are live on YouTube to get in your questions and comments or praise for what you've just seen from Cape Verde, because Kai, it's just a wonderful story, isn't it? It's the story that keeps on giving. Some people may have said, well, it was a flash in the pan what happened against Spain, but they followed it up with another great result here and a game that they were losing in. They came back from behind to draw 2-2. What does this mean for football? I'm going to ask you a very big picture question to start with.
Does that mean we have a new hero from Cabo Verde? Is Vizinha out now?
We've got to find
Is Valera? Is Valera?
I think Varela's the guy.
Is he the guy now? Is it the statue that they have to build in that country? Because it's a big celebration. This is a really big celebration to draw 2 of the biggest nations. But let's talk about this one.
Well, 2 World Cup winners as well. We mustn't forget that. Spain and Uruguay are 2 previous World Cup winners. This isn't just, you know, fighting for a draw against a team who's maybe made the World Cup a few times before. These are 2 previous champions.
Yeah. So it's a lot of credit. I mean, I played in Africa. I played against Cabo Verde. Yes, this many years ago. But to see the celebration, I was a bit worried after the first half, after them giving up that goal, them coming into the second half. I'm worried about how the game is going to finish. As players, you know, around 65 to 75 minutes, fatigue comes in. Those are the times I was really worried that Uruguay is going to step up the game to something different. You see a player like Núñez coming into the field, and I'm thinking something is going to happen. But Cape Verde really kept their composure. They had many more chances to even be able to do more than just tying this game. But I don't think now they believe. They really believe in themselves. They're not looking at this now to say, okay, we're just making an appearance at the World Cup. They're saying, listen, we're going toe-to-toe with 2 of the biggest nations in the world. So we're ready for this one.
And Michael, those 2 goals that were conceded just before halftime must have felt like a sucker punch after all the good work they'd done in the first 20, 25 minutes, scoring the goal, leading the game, being confident in it, to then go out in the second half and tactically be able to come back and score the equalising goal. So much credit needs to go to, you know, both the manager and the players to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in this. With good coaching, you can do anything in football. I don't care if you're Cabo Verde. I don't care if you're Sierra Leone. I don't care if you're Uzbekistan. I don't care if you're Jordan. I don't care if you're any team around the world. If you have a good coach, a good manager, you can do the impossible. And I was listening to the pre-match presser, and Bubista, we need to call him by name, give him his credit. And you saw before the game, Adam, you saw after the Spain game, Luis de la Fuente went over, shook his hand and said, hey, well done. Loco Bielsa, before the match, looked him in the eye. We rarely see Loco Bielsa look people in the eye. Looked him in the eye, and shook his hand and smiled. But he's earning the respect of every single person on planet Earth. This Cabo Verde side is earning the respect of every single person and team and fan at the World Cup. This is the stuff of dreams. We talk about Hollywood endings and Hollywood scripts, but this is a Cinderella story that's happening right before our eyes. And for Bubista, what he's done with Cabo Verde, taking them, and we've seen them make waves at the Africa Cup of Nations, this is another level. And for me, there's something happening on the African continent. We saw Morocco in 2022 do the impossible, get to a World Cup semifinal. But if we take a step by and we really examine African football, this is the tournament, for me, in my opinion, where African football is finally getting the respect it deserves. We fought a long time with Sierra Leone to get that sort of respect in our country, and it's good to see other small nations like Cabo Verde getting the respect they deserve by doing it the right way. A Herculean task against Spain, the emotions that it has to take, the leaders you have to will yourself forward in a second match against Uruguay. This team's for real, Adam. they're not a fluke.
Yeah, really well said. Let's get the Uruguay perspective on things. We can speak to former Uruguay player and former Premier League manager as well. Gus Poyet rejoins us. Gus, great to see you. How do you break down that second half? From a Uruguay perspective, you must be fairly disappointed with the way that your side let Cape Verde back into the game.
Yeah, really disappointing. For us, it's a disaster. We said it before the game. It was a must-win game for Uruguay. Yes, it was pressure, but these players, they play in biggest teams, so they don't have a problem. I have to say that my great congratulations to Bovista and Cabo Verde. I think they showed that you can still play football when you believe in something, that if you have pain, like before the halftime, and players, they don't want to come out. The right back, he played the last 12 minutes with cramp. He couldn't move. He kept jumping, throwing himself. So when you really get that momentum, you can do anything. Last week, they were only defending against Spain. Today, no, they had the moments. They had moments that they were attacking and trying to break and took some risk, some moments that they had to defend it. So they alternated that, and then they finished the game going for the third. I mean, there were 2 or 3 breaks at the end that they were very dangerous. So chapeau to them. For us, it started a problem. It started a big problem because it's Spain next. It's going to be a nightmare the next 5 days in Uruguay around the team. When we took advantage of 2 simple crosses, 2 nice goals, but 2 crosses, and you expect the team to go into the second half with a different attitude, we went back to the passing, to the controlling. I call him a fake control. When you are controlling, but you are not really. Then we had 10 very good minutes, I think from the 70-something, when Nunez went in with De La Cruz, and it looked like we were going to score the third goal. But not scoring and not winning the game is an absolutely disaster for us.
Gus, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and it's not the players, it's the coach in Loco Bielsa, a manager who has earned the respect of a lot of his predecessors and a lot of his understudies who reference him as such a reference point. But with this Uruguay side, it's been a disaster. It has to be said. The start of this World Cup has been a complete disaster. How much pressure is on him going into this Spain match? Because their backs are up against the wall.
Well, I have to say that you are completely right. We had a big problem last year after the Copa America. It was a big mess around November, December in Uruguay when everything was calming down and the country was divided, the pro and the against Bielsa, the pro and against the players, because that what creates these kind of problems. And when we were getting there in terms of togetherness, Bielsa didn't pick up Nandes, which he played every single game of the qualification, and it became the negativity again. And then, as you say, we started the World Cup terrible, playing with a different system that we never played last week, 4-4-2. Then we recovered well, and now the opposite, no? So it's gonna be a really tough day, for the coaches, like you said before. When things go well, credit to Bovista. When things go bad, you are on your own, and it's going to be a difficult night for Marcelo Bielsa today.
Gus, were you surprised that Darwin Núñez didn't start? We saw him come into the game, and he had a bit of an impact. But this is a guy who probably should be starting for Uruguay, isn't it?
Yes, I tell you, I was not surprised about not starting for one reason only. He didn't play the last 6 months in Saudi Arabia, and he was picked by Marcelo Bielsa to play the 2 friendlies in March. And everybody was thinking, okay, he's going to give him minutes, like an hour, 70 minutes. Go and play because you didn't play for 3 months. And he practically didn't play against England. I think he played 1 minute or 2. And then he played very little the next one. So then people were saying, okay, if we need to use Darwin Núñez, we need a couple of friendlies before the World Cup. I don't know if you know, but we were, I think, the only country in the world that we didn't play any friendlies before the World Cup. So that didn't allow Darwin Núñez to be in a good condition. And because he played not at his base the first 45 minutes of the day, and when Marcelo Bielsa took him off, the team improved dramatically, I think it was common sense that he was not starting today. I like his attitude today. I like his touches. He made a great touch for Canovio, 1 touch. He let him 1v1 with the goalkeeper. So if we can recover him now for the next few days, for Spain first, it's going to be massive for us because we need that presence and that quality in front of goal.
Just really quickly, Gus, before we let you go, I want you to put your coach's hat on because you've managed at the highest level in the Premier League and around the world. What is it that Cape Verde have done in the 2 games so far that's making these teams so difficult to beat? What are the big nations struggling with? And if you were preparing a team to face them, what would you be focusing on?
Well, to be honest, they were outstanding in terms of the decisions, the plan. Against Spain, it was a clear plan of defending as much as possible with a lower block, not allowing Spain to go in behind. And they did a fantastic job holding on and, with a great performance of the goalkeeper. Today, no. Today they play. Today they had the moments. They knew that in certain moments Uruguay would control, but they were able to go and play and enjoy themselves. There were a few players that they done a few tricks, and it was nice to watch them enjoying the World Cup as well. Uruguay, I said it at halftime, too predictable until the last few minutes of the first half, too slow, without really getting in behind the position back four. You need to make those runs. You need to make them go back. You need to put people on the box. You need to have, surrounding the striker, because we play with one striker only. There is many things that you need to work. But I'm sure that Marcelo did work. I suppose that he did work on those movements. But the game in Uruguay needs to be crazy. We are a crazy country and we need to play crazy.
Great insight, Gus, and always nice to speak to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, James. See you.
Time for a short break here on Golazo Match Night. 48 nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you in a couple of minutes.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad in my camp.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Match Night. 48 nations, another famous day for the tiny island nation of Cape Verde at the World Cup. Could they recreate the magic from their first game against the might of Spain? And boy, they could, scoring 2 goals against Uruguay to send their fans wild in Miami. And they're rapidly becoming the Cinderella story at this World Cup, joining some other countries that have made big runs in World Cups past deep into the tournament. Remember that Croatian side in 1998 getting all the way to the semi. South Korea did the same thing in 2002. It was Turkey at that tournament as well that made it to the semis. Team USA, they've had success to write about getting to the quarters of that tournament. Ghana for Africa into the quarterfinals in 2010. Costa Rica quarterfinals in 2014. We've got Cape Verde as TBD there, but I'd say they've already done it. You can't have a TBD. Draws against Spain and Uruguay, former World Cup winners. Tough to please the people who make the graphics here at the network. You both have played the game, and I'm sure I've been in this situation where you've conceded a goal or two before half-time, having started well. What is we've talked about the perspective from the manager, but what is the perspective from the players to be able to regroup, Kai, and then focus on the second half and try to get something from the game and not be too disheartened?
I think that's where the leaders of the team steps in, right there, the leadership. A player like Moreira that we know from MLS, you know, he's been a big leader on this team. I know we talk about Vizinger a lot, but then going into the locker room, knowing what the coach is telling these guys, sometimes we're just fatigued, you know, mentally and physically not there, but the information that a coach is going to get to you could really get you back up. So for me, them going back into the locker room, I was worried. Like I said to you, I was really worried to seeing how they were going to react to somebody like, you know, Uruguay. Look at their bench, bringing on Nunes and something like that is going to happen. But the fact that the right information was given to them, we saw them defending the same way as they were doing in the first half, getting 11 guys behind the ball. It didn't matter if it was 25 yards from goal, they were defending together as a team. Then when they had the ball, they were ready to break and had a few chances that they, you know, just a little bit of detail would have helped them to really put this game away, and it would have been a different story.
And Michael, this is where Babista had to almost be, I'm sure, a psychologist in the dressing room at half-time as much as a coach, getting the players to not focus on the past, what's just happened in the last 5 or so minutes of the first half, to focus on the present and the future, that there is a way back into this game.
Yeah, I think some of the best managers in the world or coaches in the world aren't afraid to make changes as well. And the subs changed this game for Cabo Verde. One of the players that almost stole the show and almost stole the match was Varela, where he takes it and just started bossing the game. And you just saw this renewed energy and this sense of belief within this team. There's a symbol that I go back to Africa, and I'm going to give this man to my right a lot of flowers here, because you talk about leaders. And so for us at Sierra Leone, Kai was the leader, not a leader, the leader. And when things get tough, especially in that locker room, you need your leaders to be an extension of the coaching staff, to be an extension of the voice of the manager. And one player that I saw was an absolute warrior today that you probably won't notice in stats, but if you truly watch this game, Pico Lopez is a leader. He is the leader of this team. Some of the blocks that he had, some of the 50-50s, his lack of backing down, his warrior mentality, it's infectious. And some of those 50-50 duels, some of those extra efforts, those are as good as goals, in my opinion, when you're playing against the big dogs of world football. I saw him make some tackles in the first half that led to counterattack opportunities, and we saw it out of the gate, him getting stuck in. Borges as well, Denny Borges, he started feeding off of it. And for me, when you're an attacker, Kai, you know your job is now set. You have to earn the hard yards when you're one of the smaller teams to get the big reward, and they definitely did that today.
No, it's so good. It's so good you mentioned Lopez on that one. To me, again, seeing it from the outside, he's not the guy that's on screen the whole time where people are recognizing what he's doing. But this man tucks in his shirt. He's ready to go. He leads by example. Yeah. He gets the tackles in, but at the same time, you're seeing him vocal. And that's what we're missing a lot in the game, you know, for many teams, the vocal leadership from players. Some players get it done, and you just see them. You see how hard they work. Like a Conte for France. He just works hard, but he's not saying much. But Lopez is leading by example, and he's vocally also pushing the rest of the guys around him.
Shout out to all the Cape Verde fans who are watching us on YouTube. We've had loads of comments coming in. Let's read out a couple for you. This one from Mr. Nice Guy, Cabo won their group in qualifying over Cameroon. They're not in because of the expansion. That's the interesting thing, is they performed brilliant. This is an extension of what they did in qualifying. And I think we've got some more coming in for you. Let's get to another one now. This from Desirac. Virginia was right. Everyone will know the name, Cape Verde. And it has been a wonderful performance from them. And you could look at the group, and we showed the group so far earlier on. They've got through the hardest games so far, haven't they? They've got past Spain and Uruguay. They've got Saudi Arabia to come. How far, Michael, do you think they could potentially get in this tournament? Are they now setting their sights past the group stages?
Well, look, I'm going to put this out there, and this is not a hot take. This is not living in la-la land. They're going to finish second in this group. They're going to finish ahead of Uruguay because they've done the hard work. Now is the part, as a player, now is the part where if you're Vozinha, you get to reward your mom, who a lot of work has been made by diplomats. And I was reading behind the scenes that there was a Chinese businessman who actually helped pay the visa fee and was part of that process, as well as other diplomats. But this is where, for me, if I'm a Cabo Verde player, I think of my family. And on the international level, that's what differentiates playing at the international level versus playing for your club. When you're playing for your club, you're playing for your paycheck, you're playing for pride, you're playing for your career. But these Cabo Verde players, they're playing for legacy in real time. They're playing for their families. They're playing for their loved ones. They're playing for the previous generation in 2013 that helped set the stage. They're playing for Africa.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to be highly motivated. And Adam, I'm not saying they're going to do a Morocco because they still need that extra bit of quality. But this team can dare to dream. And if I'm a Cabo Verde fan, the city of Boston is going to be popping tonight. I wish I could. I might actually get in my car and drive to Boston tonight to celebrate with the Cabo Verde fans. The city of Providence, I think about the fans there. And I also think about the fans in Cabo Verde that couldn't even be here to watch their team. This is a historical moment, and it's something that no football fan will forget what they're doing. So dare to dream, man. The sky's the limit.
I think every TV set screen on the island of Cape Verde was tuned into that game this evening, and they could do it on the final match day. They have got, you would say, the easier of the fixtures. They take on Saudi Arabia in Houston, Texas, in the final game in Group E, and then for Uruguay, they will be playing Spain in Guadalajara, Mexico. If it stays as it is, Cape Verde would be playing Mexico in the first knockout round match. Time for a short break here on Golazo Match Night. 48 nations, plenty more when we return.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, with the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it? A crowd
crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Match Night 48 Nations. Let's begin our build-up to the next World Cup game we've got to enjoy from Group G. Is New Zealand taking on Egypt in Vancouver, Canada. And we can hear from the New Zealand camp now. Here's their striker, Chris Wood, speaking before this game.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be completely different to the first game. Everybody's looked at the teams and we've looked at them against Belgium. They've looked at us against Iran, and I'm sure both teams will come up with different game plans of how they want to affect the game. For us as players, the boys, it's about bringing the same level of energy, intensity, technical ability on the pitch, and then raising it again because it was a draw. We want to get the win, and that's what we're going to need to do.
Kai, Chris Wood said there it's going to be different compared to the first game against Iran. What does he mean? How is this one going to be different against Egypt for New Zealand?
They need a result. They need a result, but again, a lot of respect because there's a lot of players on this Egyptian team, you know, like the Mo Salahs that they know about. They know a lot more about this team, and it's the second game for them inside of the tournament. So they've corrected some tweaks, some little things that, you know, went wrong in the Iran game. So they're looking forward to this one. To me, that's what I hear from it.
Michael, the New Zealand lineup is in for us. What's the team news?
Yeah, so far it looks like not a damn thing has changed in terms of the 11, Adam. And we're going to start with someone that we should be familiar with on our network, Max Cabo. We watched him play for Millwall in the championship playoff semifinal. Unfortunately, he was doing this. Didn't get in that game, but he's been a big part of that Millwall side. Tim Payne is a social media revelation and a celebrity, but I'm actually not going to go with him. It's Liberace Kakache and Michael Boxall, former teammate of yours at Minnesota United. But Liberace Kakache, we watched him play for Wrexham in the championship. He's got a bit of quality, a bit of engine. He's going to bomb up and down this left-hand side. And Elijah Just, who we're going to break down a bit, he's going to come in Nero to play in with Chris Wood. One player that I thought did a lot of the hard work was Bell for me. He actually played college soccer here in America at the University of Virginia a couple of years ago. So it's good to see college soccer here, the grassroots of the United States of America, represented at the international level. But the big talk and the main man is Chris Wood. He is this team.
You mentioned Elijah Just there. What's he got that makes him a difference maker?
It's his positioning. It's just his idea of where space is going to be. And I'm really interested to see where the All Whites set up from a tactical standpoint, because Kai, when you know this, when you play with a center forward like Chris Wood, it's not just the entry pass into Chris Wood, it's what's happening in off of Chris Wood that makes this New Zealand side dangerous. Against Iran, I thought he did such a good job of making those late runs in behind when Chris Wood would drop deep at different times, or when Chris Wood would pin the two center backs, he would come in underneath. Such a smart footballing brain of his, and we see it in the Scottish Premiership for Motherwell. And he's made history of his own. I think he became the first ever Motherwell player to score at a World Cup. So there's a confidence, there's a bit of swagger, and he's just got to get this consistency to really continue to make.
And Kai, I've watched him a lot this season on our network for Motherwell, and I think this heat map from SofaScore tells the story of what he's like playing the game. He's all over the place. I mean, I'm surprised there aren't some yellow patches down here because he's one of those players that's like a bee just buzzing around everywhere on the pitch.
And you have to be excited about players like that because that means they want to be part of the game. They want to have impact in the game. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to be on the defensive side of the ball and at the same time on the offensive side of the ball. Well, as Michael just mentioned, playing with a striker like Chris Wood, it's going to be so impactful for him to understand when to run off that striker when that ball is coming in. For myself, being a big man, a big striker, I love players like Just that's playing and moving forward, because I can occupy the defenders and then I can just dash the balls to him when he's moving forward.
Yeah, it's almost going back to the old school 90s play of the big man up front and then the players that are going to get in around
Exactly.
them. Kai, you've been in charge of having a look at the Egypt lineup. What have they gone for?
Egypt look like they're sticking to the same lineup from the last game. And again, everybody's looking at this lineup and looking straight at Mohamed Salah, but let's not just do that. Let's focus really on the depth that they have on this team. Most of this team plays in Egypt, so we have to give that respect to most of these players. 8 of these players are playing, and 5 of these players are playing on the same club. We're looking at Fatih, who's playing away, but Ibrahim and Hani and Zico and Ashur, they're all playing on the same team in El Ali. So we really have to respect that. But then again, the lineup like this that's set up in the way it's set up, we're all going to be focused on Mo Salah. Mo Salah, Mamouche, making an impact. Mamouche has to be a little bit more than he was in the first game. But I'm not just going to leave it to that. I'm going to leave it to the goal scorer. Because when you score a goal and you walk around like this in your first game in the World Cup, we got to expect a lot more from Ashur into this game.
Yeah, he scored the goal, didn't he, Michael? But I think it was a contribution more than just the goal. We saw a player that, you know, he's a young player with plenty of talent, that if Egypt are going to continue in this World Cup, they're going to need him to keep this level up.
Yeah, I think we're looking at the heir apparent to the void that Mohamed Salah is leaving for the Egyptian national team. I know that's a big statement, but you look at Marmouche, I don't think he wants that responsibility just yet. And Ashur is ready to take that up. I remember covering him at the Africa Cup of Nations. He was part of that Egyptian side. They played Senegal. He was playing as a fullback at that point because he's so versatile. He's just one of those pure street ballers at different times. He's so comfortable with the ball at his feet. You got to cover him, I remember, this past summer at the Club World Cup, and he's just this magician with the ball of his feet. But with so much attention being paid to Mohamed Salah and Omar Marmouche, I think he's going to become the biggest beneficiary for Egypt at the World Cup. Just drifting off the shoulder. Salah goes here. He says, okay, well, I'll go here. And consistency in finishing, that's the next level for him. That's what all the responsible players for national teams do. That's what this fella did for Sierra Leone.
And to me, it's almost like you talking about just now. It's having a player like Ashur that's also going to constantly move in, because when the focus is put on Mohamed Salah or Mamouche, then you need somebody else that's going to step up. So, and he wants that. He wants that pressure. He wants that play to say, listen, we're the next generation of this Egyptian national team, and we're ready to take this team to where it's supposed to go. So that's what we get to see.
OK, time for a short break here on Golazo Match Night. 48 nations. We'll continue our look at Egypt next and focus on the big man, Mo Salah, in a couple of minutes.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
And Salah is a Premier League giant. Feel good contact. There goes Darwin Nunez. Gakpo's arriving. Salah! Oh, thanks to the Egyptian king. Liverpool Football Club are champions again.
I'm very disappointed. I have done so much for this club. Sitting on the bench, I don't know why.
Mohamed Salah, I think, made a severe mistake here.
He broke at the seams before going to AFCON, which I thought was the best thing that could have happened to him.
50 Champions League goals for Mohamed Salah, and they've taken this tie away from Galatasaray.
Well, we had some huge breaking news. The Premier League giants have formally announced that Salah's 9th season at Liverpool will be his last.
Salah, he will get there. He always gets there. Now what can he conjure up for Liverpool? There's the ball. Salah's delivery, exquisite.
Welcome back to Golazo Match Night. 48 nations, 25-26. Not exactly a season to write home about for Mo Salah at Liverpool. It was certainly interesting, plenty happening between August and the end of the season in May. He scored on the opening day, breaking that Premier League record. But then what a difference a few months made after that. Speaking out in public, facing quite a lot of criticism in the media for that decision. And then finally, towards the end of March, mutually agreeing to part ways with Liverpool at the end of the season. In his final match, recorded his 93rd Premier League assist on May the 24th, which was a club record. Kai, obviously, he set an unbelievable high level for himself at Liverpool. How, compared to what he did in the past, how disappointing was this season for him generally, do you think?
Respect the man. Respect Mohamed Salah for what he gave to the club, to Liverpool, to playing for the one team. The history that Liverpool has is something that's very special, but he added to that history. And that's something the fans really have to respect. He's human. So for him lashing out and saying things because he feels it, he feels if you just sit there and not say anything, people then start to question, do you really care about what's going on? So he's taken that step. He took that step to say, I want to give more to this club. I want more for this club. So don't judge me for my emotions that I'm showing to you guys that I care. But guys, look at the stats. When we were talking about Liverpool recently, in the past, I want to say 5-7 years, we're talking Mo Salah is the first name that comes up. And he's delivered on the stage for Liverpool over and over and over. So for me, respect is all I can say to put on his name and give him that legacy that he deserved coming out of Liverpool. We don't know what happens next, but that's something that he deserved.
Yeah, you're quite right, and the numbers there speak for themselves. Michael, in terms of how important this World Cup is, I think we said this, maybe you were on the show with me on Scoreline, before he went to AFCON, how important that was for him to really focus on something else and start to rebuild, maybe not necessarily the reputation, but focus more on the future for Mo Salah. You could make the case that the World Cup that he's at the moment is even more important in that regard, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think Mohamed Salah's legacy at Liverpool Football Club will be touched, tarnished, or impacted anyway. If anything, he's probably more vindicated given what happened with Arne Slot, because we got to see Mohamed Salah, the Liverpool fans, speak out and have the last laugh after all, and take nothing away from some of the disappointments, because he's been the gold standard for Liverpool. But I'm going to take it one step further. He has been Egyptian football for the last decade plus. He's been one of the gold standards for African football, but he means more to Egypt, I would argue, than he means more to Liverpool when it comes to the international level. And it might be neck and neck, and they both mean a lot to each other, but he's a role model to a lot of Egyptians. And we've been there playing in Egypt. The number one person, you get off the plane in Cairo, you smell the fresh desert air, and you just talk to someone about football or life or anything or culture, the number one person, the number one name you hear synonymous with anything good that happens in North Africa is Mohamed Salah. And what a way, should this be his last major tournament, which he's alluded to after the recent AFCON, that he's already alluding to, hey, I'm thinking about life after. What a way to get out of the group, to add to that opening performance where he assisted on Ashore's goal. And he had a more selfless, not selfish, selfless kind of cameo for the Pharaohs. What a way it would add to his legacy if he was to do something at this World Cup. It would put him up there. And already, just based on club numbers, what he's done at the club level, he's already in the conversation for top 5 greatest African footballers of all time. If you can make a run at the World Cup with Egypt, we're having a completely different conversation, Kai.
And I think, Kai, you can draw parallels, can't you, between those 3 great players at this World Cup. You've got Messi, you've got CR7 Ronaldo, and you've got Mo Salah. That were probably going to be the last World Cups we see them, certainly in Ronaldo's case. How would you compare Egypt with the way that Argentina and Portugal are going about preparing for life after their great star?
Yes, and let's not forget Luka Modric for that one too.
Yeah, okay, you can add him to the list.
We can add him to that list. But for Egypt, it's really good what they've been doing over the years, you know. I don't want to have to put some pressure on Mamouche or Ashore coming into this, but football is life in this part of the world. And Egyptian fans, Egyptian, populations all around the world has really been revived by Mohamed Salah's story. Mohamed Salah taking him to the World Cup. Before Mohamed Salah, it's the name in Liverpool, which is really good to have the Liverpool colors and the Egyptian colors, kind of really matching. So it's really easy to support. But for me, to see Mohamed Salah and the accomplishments that he's had with the national team is really set a different stage for us, playing in Africa and playing at the AFCON and challenging against them. I remember I had to fly all the way when I retired from the national team. I flew all the way to Liberia when Sierra Leone is playing against Egypt just because my son had a little card that he wants Mo Salah to sign. So I went there to speak to Mo Salah, have him sign it. But that's the impact that he's had on us. And when I returned back on the national team to play one more game in Cairo against Mo Salah, it's against Egypt, but I'm cherishing the fact that I'm playing against Mo Salah, 2 captains standing there. So he has really left a legacy for us in Africa and for generations to come.
Well, on Father's Day in the States, I think you've made 2 other fathers feel quite inferior here.
Layla's not getting the sign card for Mohamed Salah just yet once he comes in studio.
Okay, time for a short break here on Golazo Match Night 48 Nations. We've got plenty more coming up for you next as we continue to build up to this game between New Zealand and Egypt in Vancouver.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad in my camp.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to Golazo Match Night. 48 nations, not long to go now until kickoff in Vancouver between New Zealand and Egypt. The fans are in the house. Both teams drew their opening games of the World Cup, so hoping to record their first victory to get things going. Michael Lahou back in the studio here. You've got your keys to the win. What have you chosen?
Yeah, these are three simple keys that are keys to success, not just keys to the game. And the number one thing for me when you get to the World Cup is you have to have your difference makers make their mark on this game. It's a great opportunity given what we saw earlier in the day, right? Belgium not taking advantage of some of their chances. Iran definitely making a mark in this group. But if you're Chris Wood, if you're Mohamed Salah, this is where you continue to add and cement your legacy. Number two, switches of play. I'm really intrigued to see how both of these two teams, who at times will sit in a low block and defend for their lives, deal with breaking down a low block. And for me, when you get those half spaces, those half chances, you get the opposing side over to one side. It's all about that switch of play to isolate the opposite fullback or the opposite winger. That can mean space for Just, and on the other side, that can mean space for Shore. And last but not least, we've seen this World Cup be a World Cup of small margins and fine margins. When you get your opportunity, you need to be ruthless. If you're Egypt, you did so much of the hard work against Belgium, but the lack of ruthlessness was the reason why that wasn't a 2-1 win that you deserved, and why it was 1-1 in favor of the Belgians getting out of it. Just say getting out of jail a bit. And for New Zealand, you have a proven goal scorer in Chris Wood. Have him be ruthless and have him have that killer instinct.
Kai, this is an interesting game because I think either team will see it as a big opportunity, given what's gone before. They've drawn the opening game, as Michael rightly mentioned, what the other teams in the group are doing. They're both feeling like this is a winnable game. Is it is an interesting psychology coming into it?
I think it's a perfect game. It's a perfect game for both teams because I feel like they match evenly in this game, and that's exactly what they're feeling inside the locker rooms. One team is saying, hey, this is the game for us today to get the points that we needed, while the other team is saying that, so which is perfect. And you need the difference makers, the big guys, as Mike was just talking about, you know, in that one play that's going to mean something to the rest of the team, that one chance. It could be, hopefully it's not another goalkeeper save for, you know, another social media sensation for the goalkeepers. Let's get some on-field players, you know, to continue.
Yeah, we can't give it all to the goalkeepers. No. What's your prediction for the game, Michael? What do you think the score's going to be?
Look, I love Chris Wood, but I am not going against my Africans. 2-1 Egypt.
2-1 Egypt, okay. Kai?
Oh,
that's really good.
Egypt.
You can't just say that. No, I like I said, I've traveled across the continent to really, see these guys. So I'm going with Egypt, but I'm also going 3-1 Egypt.
Asking two African players to go against the Africans is probably unlikely.
The Pharaohs. You can't go against the Pharaohs.
How dare I? How dare I? I'm going to stick up for my Kiwis. Come on, New Zealand. But I think it is going to be a close game, isn't it? And both teams go about the game quite differently because of who they've got playing. Chris Wood, as we've spoken about, the target man going forward for them, whereas Marmoush and Mo Salah for Egypt. Two different styles we're going to see today, but it will be an interesting one for us to watch. Thanks for joining us here on Golazo Match Night 48 Nations. We will be back at half-time of this one in Vancouver with all of the action then for you. We'll see you then.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last